We will touch on all the developments today, don't worry. And if you think who you think will be champion this year, write in the comments. Let's move on to our agenda immediately. The Chiefs got the win and looked much closer to the team we've been hoping to see all along. This guy made a statement, another guy made his debut in full effect, and overall, this guy's happy. Let's dive into the Chiefs' victory against the Texans. This is RGR football. We're going to break it all down, go through my notes, and analyze the game. The Chiefs are now 14-1 and look like they can compete with a playoff team pretty dang well. Quick update, Dan won't be able to join us today, so it's just me riding solo. But we're going to have a lot of fun. I'll go through my notes, highlight everything important from this game, and address some of your questions. While we may not get to every single one, we'll do our best. Don't forget about our live Q&A on Monday night, where we'll answer everything as you prepare for the Steelers game on Christmas Day. If you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Welcome to the post-game show. I'm Ryan Tracy, founder of this site, NFL 33, and a number of other channels. You've also seen me on Locked On Chiefs. This is RGR football. Let's get into it. Big takeaways. The Chiefs showed up and looked much better, even with Joe Thuney, a guard, stepping in at left tackle. In my opinion, Thuney showed significant improvement against a pass rush that's still strong, featuring Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. While not as overwhelming as Myles Garrett, it's a respectable unit. Thuney's performance was promising enough to suggest the team can hold out until DJ Humphries returns, which might be in a few days or slightly longer. However, there was a twist late in the game. On the other side, Jawan Taylor, who has been dealing with a knee issue, exited the game. Wanya Morris stepped in at right tackle and looked pretty comfortable. I've mentioned before that Morris has the potential to be the right tackle of the future, or even a guard. Left tackle seems to be his biggest challenge, but overall, it was a positive sign. Offensive adjustments, the Chiefs listened to our game plan. Dan and I talked about it before and executed it well. They focused on a quicker passing game, with Patrick Mahomes making faster decisions and releasing the ball quickly. Were all the passes perfect? No. He missed a few due to his ankle issue, which, while improving, still affects his delivery. Overall, though, the offense moved more effectively, and the running game showed improvement. I noticed simpler blocking schemes, with more straight man and power blocking. Both running backs gained extra yards after contact, which was encouraging. P. Ryan stood out as well, and we'll get into that shortly. Key performances, Worthy had a strong game, especially considering he got hurt in the first half. Despite that, he played through the second half, which shows his resilience. He even managed to be productive in multiple ways. While he might need to rest before the Steelers game, his initial performance was promising. I also liked what I saw from Hollywood Brown, who played more snaps than I anticipated. He was targeted 8 times, catching 5 passes for an average of 9 yards per catch. It was a solid debut, and the Chiefs used him wisely, keeping him out of situations where he'd take unnecessary contact. Defensive notes, Trent McDuffie had another strong game. Wide receivers struggled to block him, but there was one play where Tank Dell managed to break free for a touchdown. This happened because McDuffie didn't jam him at the line, allowing Dell to gain separation. While I understand the risk of missing a jam, it could have prevented that play. Unfortunately, Dell was injured on the play, and it looked serious, possibly an ACL or MCL injury. He's in good hands at KU Med, so here's hoping for a swift recovery. Texans' takeaways. The Texans are scrappy and have some talented players. Most notably, CJ Stroud has shown himself to be a total leader, something we didn't see as much of at Ohio State. The Chiefs handled them well, but Stroud's quiet intensity and leadership are qualities the Chiefs will need to contend with in the years to come. Closing thoughts, if you're wondering how I do my analysis, here's a quick look at my setup. I use a laptop to take notes, and I have an iPad running the Peacock Madden View, which offers a sky-high perspective similar to Amazon's. This allows me to review plays in detail and provide the in-depth analysis you see here. Thanks for joining me today. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. For members at the Rook level or higher, my game notes will be available in PDF form soon. Let's keep the conversation going. The college football playoffs are what they are, but they're adding a little extra flair. I put the game on my iPad and watched the broadcast to get a bit of everything. I used the Sky View on a 5-second delay to get an initial perspective, then switch back to the All-22 Sky View. That helps solidify what I'll share with you. With that said, we've got a lot of Super Chats. Super Chats will always get an answer, so if you want to be part of the show, send one in and I'll address it as we go. Now, let's dive into some of the notes drive by drive. Here's what I do. I review the game opportunities and take quick notes. As you can see, the Chiefs were rarely in a position to fail, according to analysts at NFL Pro. If you're not familiar with this, it's a tool that Dan and I use, not just for film review, but also for advanced stats. It's very similar to what NFL GS provides for media members, and we rely on it a lot. The first half began with some notable moments. For example, it started with Bolton and Tran stopping the run, and the last defensive drive ended the same way, with a tackle for loss. That's a nice bookend, showcasing the defense's intensity throughout the day. Even when Chris Jones went out with a calf issue, the defense held its own. Based on how it looked, I'd guess it was a slight strain or maybe even a cramp. Still, you don't take chances with Chris Jones, so pulling him was the right call. The defense stepping up without him is a huge positive. Looking through the notes, you'll see some red marks this time, indicating negatives, but there's a balance overall. For those new to this channel, I use green for positives and red for negatives in my drive-by-drive breakdowns. In the first half, it was pretty balanced, but the second half started rough with 2 bad offensive drives. However, things shifted as the Chiefs regained control, particularly in the 7th defensive drive. That's when they started dominating. Even as the Texans managed a few good plays, this game felt like what we've been expecting all season. With Hollywood Brown back in the offense, you could see what this unit was designed to be. He adds another outside threat, complementing players like Rashid Rice. Juju Smith-Schuster also contributed with some good blocking, though he wasn't a major part of the game plan. Overall, the offensive design allowed for more versatility. I loved seeing the full backfield in action, something I plan to highlight during film reviews later. This is a short week, so Q&A will be on Monday, with something for you Tuesday, followed by game day the next day. Film reviews will come later, so watch out for those. Now let's get to your questions. We'll reference the notes as needed. Starting with Sam. Can teams adjust quarter by quarter? Absolutely. They adjust drive by drive too, especially with personnel changes. For instance, the Texans lost a couple of offensive linemen, and the Chiefs lost Jawan Taylor. These adjustments are why you see tablets on the sidelines and coaches communicating via headsets. Defensive coaches in the booth watch the sky view in real time, providing updates. That's why I focus on it, to give you insights from a coach's perspective. Thanks, Sam, for your support. Nice to see you, as always. Pin, I appreciate you too. Regarding Patrick Mahomes' trustworthiness on slant routes, yes, absolutely. The offense showed confidence for stretches. Trent McDuffie, in particular, is emerging as a ball hawk, with back-to-back interceptions in games. That kind of confidence can transform a player's instincts, much like it did for L'Jarius Sneed. Kyle, thanks for your input. The 8-point margin of victory could have been larger if Kareem hadn't slid at the 5-yard line to ice the game, but it's still a 1-score win, as you noted. Hollywood Brown's contributions were impactful, and Trent McDuffie's 2 interceptions, along with a big sack from Williams, were key highlights. This team finally looks like it's putting together complete games against playoff-caliber opponents. With multiple injuries, including Patrick Mahomes playing through one, and just-returned players like Hollywood Brown stepping up, things are coming together. It's exciting to see. Thanks again for your support. Hollywood Brown could make a real impact in the playoffs, and I think you're absolutely right. For him to come back after spending the summer in Dallas and all of camp working hard, only to have to shut it down for a while, was a huge missed opportunity. A lot of upside and top-end speed was lost. This game gave us just a glimpse of what he can do. Most of his routes were simple: drags, outs, and screens. There was one out-and-up route where they barely missed the connection, and I noted it in my observations. For those following my notes, I've abbreviated Hollywood Brown as HB throughout. I don't have a full key for all my acronyms, but HB means Hollywood Brown, so you'll see that referenced a lot. His impact is already noticeable, especially in how defenses respond to Xavier. While teams respect Xavier's speed, Hollywood's reputation draws even more attention, giving Xavier more opportunities. That dynamic is why we're seeing this offense open up. Thunder, great to see you, buddy. No Texans gear for you today, huh? That's good news. If you haven't already, check out Thunder's channel. He's doing some great work. Now you can just be yourself without the Texans gear, and I'm all for it. As for whether Tony could be the answer at left tackle, it's possible. The secondary does look vulnerable without Jalen, though. I noticed CRW took a significant step forward today. He's bulked up a bit and looks more physical. Yes, he got beat at least once, I made a note of it, but that's expected for a rookie. He also made a nice tackle on Mixon, so there are positives and negatives. Overall, I think he's functional enough to rotate him with Nazi, who also took some nickel snaps today. Jalen Williams made a big play on the blitz at the end of the game, but he struggled in coverage for most of the day. We'll analyze that more after the Steelers game and provide a full breakdown. Back to Tony. He played better today against a solid, though not elite, pass rush. However, the playoff teams have stronger pass rushes like Denver, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh, so there's still work to be done. Rumor has it that DJ might be ready for Christmas Day against the Steelers. If that's the case, Tony can move back inside, which is where he excels. That would also allow W to stay on the right side, where he's more comfortable and effective. If DJ can't go, I'm okay with Tony holding it down for now, even against the formidable Steelers pass rush. Kando had some bright moments but also struggled today. Getting DJ back would be a big upgrade to the interior, and Tony would at least maintain a break-even level at left tackle. For those reading my notes, feel free to ask questions. Super chats are piling up, so let's keep rolling. Adam Schefter jumped the gun, calling Patrick Mahomes' injury a week-to-week ankle sprain before testing was done. To me, it looked like one of the lighter roll-ups Patrick has dealt with. Despite conflicting reports, Mahomes continues to amaze with his recovery ability. It's incredible how quickly he bounces back, but we can't take it for granted. The game plan to get the ball out quickly worked well, minimizing any potential harm to Patrick. He'll likely be sore over the next few days, but should be fine against the Steelers. He showed no signs of slowing down with adrenaline running high during the game, though he'll need treatment to recover fully. Daryl, thank you for your support. 3.5 years as a member. You're one of the OGs here. The Chiefs are 14-1 and silencing critics who doubted them. Andy's strategy of holding back and peaking at the right time is paying off. They're trending upward, and it's all about hitting their stride 6 weeks from now. Ruthless, nice to see you again. You mentioned W looking 10 times better at right tackle than Taylor. I'd need to go back and review the film closely, but I agree W looked more comfortable on the right side. He played better there in college and seems to thrive in that position. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover. Hey, Chiefs Nation, are you ready for another thrilling chapter of this season? Today, we're diving into the next big matchup between the reigning Super Bowl champions, your Kansas City Chiefs, and a team full of history and emotion, the Houston Texans. This isn't just another game on the schedule. It's about rivalries, playoff implications, and an electrifying reunion that's got everyone talking. Stick with me until the end, because you won't want to miss the details of this high-stakes showdown. The stage is set. The Chiefs are riding high after another strong season, but challenges remain. Patrick Mahomes, the heart and soul of this offense, isn't at peak physical form, forcing the team to step up collectively. On the other side, the Houston Texans have defied expectations and secured a playoff spot. Now, they're determined to prove they can hang with the league's elite. This game has been circled on calendars as one of the marquee matchups of the season, and it's shaping up to deliver on that promise. The off-field drama. What's stealing the headlines isn't just what's happening on the field, but what's happening off it. The spotlight is on Chiefs defender Charles Omenihu, who recently made waves with a bold statement about his former team, the Texans. In a recent interview, Omenihu didn't hold back, saying, "I can't stand that organization." Omenihu, a Houston native, was drafted by the Texans in 2019. His journey with the team was filled with ups and downs, ultimately leading to a trade to the 49ers and eventually to the Chiefs. Now fully recovered from a serious injury that sidelined him last postseason, Omenihu is back and ready to face the team that gave him his NFL start. This game isn't just about points on the board for Omenihu, it's personal. He's coming in with extra motivation to make an impact and show the Texans exactly what they gave up. The stake on one side, the Chiefs are looking to assert their dominance and iron out inconsistencies as they push toward another Super Bowl run. On the other, the Texans are aiming to prove they can go toe-to-toe with the league's best. At the heart of this drama is Omenihu, a player with the chance to turn this reunion into a redemption story. Your predictions. What do you think, Chiefs fans? Will Charles Omenihu shine against his former team? Can the Texans find a way to slow down Kansas City's explosive offense and resilient defense? Let me know your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the action as this season heats up. Let's go. Chiefs Nation, onward to another victory. Go Chiefs! Mahomes' magic on full display. Patrick Mahomes did it all this game, throwing for a touchdown and rushing for another. Watching him sprint into the end zone on the opening drive was nothing short of spectacular. What did you think of that moment? Was it gutsy or pure Mahomes magic? Let me know in the comments below. But Mahomes didn't just play, he inspired. After the game, he said, "If I'm going to ask my teammates to play through pain, I've got to do it too." That's leadership every team dreams of. Even coach Andy Reid joked about how Mahomes spoils us with his toughness. Big-time performances, Mahomes wasn't alone in carrying the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy stepped up big, leading the receiving corps with 65 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt bulldozed his way into the end zone, while adding 55 rushing yards to the mix. What's your take? Was this Mahomes' most inspiring performance of the season so far? Vote in the poll and tell us why in the comments. The game's dramatic moments. Football is as much about emotional swings as it is about the scoreboard. One of the toughest moments came early in the third quarter, when Texans wide receiver Tank Dell went down with a devastating knee injury after an incredible touchdown catch. It was heartbreaking to watch, and you could see how much it shook the Texans, especially quarterback CJ Stroud. How do moments like these impact you as a fan? Does it change how you feel about the game? Let's discuss in the comments. Dell's injury seemed to sap the Texans' momentum, especially after their kicker missed the extra point. That shift opened the door for Kansas City to take control. Chiefs' defense stands tall. This game wasn't just about offense. The Chiefs' defense came through when it mattered most. With 5 minutes left and the Texans trailing by 8, they had a chance to stage a comeback. Enter cornerback Josh Williams with a perfectly timed blitz, sacking CJ Stroud and sealing the game for Kansas City. Plays like that show why this defense thrives in big moments. What's been your favorite defensive play from the Chiefs this season? Share it in the comments. Kansas City's defense didn't just make big plays, they capitalized on turnovers. CJ Stroud's 2 interceptions kept the Texans from building any real momentum. Great teams turn mistakes into opportunities, and that's exactly what the Chiefs did. Even Texans coach DeMeco Ryans admitted, "This game had a playoff atmosphere." And if this was a test, the Chiefs passed with flying colors. Off-field highlights and what's next. What a game and what a week for the Chiefs. Off the field, we had a fun moment. Did you catch Taylor Swift in the stands? She's been spending more time in Kansas City cheering on Travis Kelce and the team. Now, back to football. The Chiefs are gearing up for a Christmas Day showdown against the Steelers, with the #1 seed within their grasp. What are your predictions for the next matchup? Drop them in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay locked in as we head toward another thrilling chapter of the season.